from Chafin Music, and today we're going to talk about how to assemble your flute, take care of it, and disassemble it. First of all, let's take a look at the flute case. Each part of the flute has a particular spot in the case where it belongs. And notice that the keys all face upward when you put the flute in properly. Let's take out the various parts and we'll name each one as we do. First, we have the head joint. That's the top of the flute, the part that you play on. The biggest piece is the body. When you take this out and handle it, you want to make sure that you're not pressing on the keys to prevent them from going out of alignment, and the flute will be affected in terms of how it plays if that happens. And finally, the smallest piece, the foot joint. So we have the head, the body, and the foot. Kind of makes sense. So to assemble the flute, we start with the head joint in one hand and the body in the other hand. Make sure you hold the body at the top here where the tenon is, where the flute goes together, and that you don't press on any of the keys to assemble. Carefully place, making sure this is clean by the way before you put it in, the tenon. Carefully place it in and give it a slight twist as you push it in. Again, being careful not to push on any of the keys. To align the head joint with the body, you want to make sure the logo matches on the head joint matches the logo on the instrument. Another way to check it is to just sight down the instrument and make sure that the keys and the opening in the head joint line up. Next, we're going to put on the foot joint. Same thing with the foot joint. Grab it near the end here where you don't have a lot of keys. Hold the body and not the keys. And you're holding the body up at the top. Carefully put it together, twisting as you go. And to align it, you want to make sure this spatula key here at the bottom is lined up with this main rod that runs down. So the center of that spatula key is lined up with that rod. Also, there's another rod that runs right along the foot joint that you're going to line up with the top of your keys. So when you sight down the end, that rod is going to line up with the tops of the keys and your tone hole at the top. All right, once you put the instrument together, your teacher will go over with you the proper position of your hands to hold the instrument and your embouchure setting and all of that. We're not going to cover that in this video, but we want to make sure that when you put your instrument together that you handle it properly and that the instrument works well. Once you've finished playing, you want to disassemble the instrument like the same way you put it together. Hold it at the top, and then hold the foot joint at the bottom. Gently twist, making sure when you twist that you don't rock back and forth in this way. In other words, twist it and keep it straight. Don't turn it like that. That will damage the flute. Head joint and the body. Gently twist and work it out. Now once you finish playing the instrument, there's moisture inside the instrument, and the moisture that's left in there can cause a corrosion or bacteria to grow. So we want to make sure that we clean the instrument out. To do that, every flute comes with a cleaning rod, and you should make sure if your instrument doesn't come with one, that you get a swab. This is a silk swab made for the flute. Simply thread the cloth into the eye of the rod, and you're going to take that and push it through gently all the way through. Twisting it helps it to go in a little bit easier, all the way through until it pops out the other end, and pull it out. You want to do that gently. Don't be in a hurry because you want to wipe out any moisture. You want to do the same thing with the flute foot joint. Just push it all the way through. And you'll notice on the head joint, and that's where a lot of your moisture is going to be, that you can't push it all the way through. You can drape the swab over the end so you get all the way to the top of that. Do that very gently. You don't want to damage the flute in any way. Now, a couple of things to be aware of. There is a crown here at the top that does screw off, so you shouldn't take that off. You should just make sure that it is on tightly. It does affect how the flute plays quite a bit, and it also is for adjusting, which we're not going to cover in this video, but you can ask your teacher, your private teacher, your band director about that. Now, when you go to put the instrument away, it's a silver-plated instrument probably, so you want to wipe off any fingerprints. For that, I'm going to use a silver polish cloth. Here we have a little I Love My Flute cloth. Now, I've already wiped this off, and you're going to notice on the back of the cloth, it's already got some black areas, and that's perfectly normal. That's where the tarnish has been cleaned off the instrument. So we're going to gently wipe off the outer areas, wipe all the fingerprints off, and place it inside the case, making sure that you have it in the right compartment and that it's fitting in the case properly so it's not sticking out. On the body of the instrument, you want to take your cloth and wipe off all of the large areas first, getting all the fingerprints off, being careful to avoid the keys. Once you've done that, go ahead and wipe the top of each key off to get the fingerprints there. And make sure you don't try to wipe the sides of the keys or in between the keys, because you can either damage the pads or the springs of the instrument by doing that. So just wipe the large areas and the top of the keys. And be careful when you put this piece in that your key on this side here is on top and all the keys are facing up, and it should go right down into the case properly. Then you have the foot joint, same thing, holding it by the body and not by the keys. Wipe off the larger areas, and then wipe off the top of the keys and place it in the case. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it has helped you know how to put your instrument together those first few days when you're getting used to it. If you need an instrument, at Chafin Music we do have a great rent-to-own program, and you can rent either a like new, or a used instrument based on availability. So make sure if you're going to rent an instrument, you don't wait till the last minute, just before school starts or just before you need the instrument. The rent-to-own program is great. It's open-ended, so you don't have to necessarily keep it until it's paid for, but you can, and at the end of your payments, you'll own the instrument. Anyway, come on down to Chafin Music, and we'd like to help you get the right instrument and get you started on the path to playing wonderful music.